Hey guys, welcome back. My name is AJ and you're watching the pt2 channel. Today we're working on the E36 M3 and we're on part 2 of the ZWING Bashbar install. You don't want to miss out, so stay tuned. So for those of you guys that watched the first video, you saw me install the Bashbar on the E36. Now, that installation process is not very difficult. There's nothing about it that the average individual can't do. You're basically moving the bumper, removing the bumper support, the bumper shocks, and installing the Bashbar in the factory location. Now, one of the things that I definitely noticed by installing the Bashbar is the amount of structural rigidity that it adds to the chassis. I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the fact that removing the bumper shocks and adding in this rigid Bashbar in place of the factory location probably does add some structural rigidity, so that is an added bonus that I really didn't foresee. But in today's video, we're not going to be talking about the installation since we already did that in the last video. And if you haven't seen that, you can click on the video right here and you can see that for yourself. But in today's video, we're going to be coming up with a unique solution to quick release the bumper from the car. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first things first, the fit and finish of the Bashbar, my first impressions of it are excellent. Now, they basically left the mounting of the bumper to the actual individual, how you want to mount it. Most people use zip ties, some people use Zeus clips. I didn't really want to do that, and I really did not want to use any type of mounting solution that required me to screw into the outside of the bumper and mount it to the Bashbar, where you could visibly see some type of connection from the outside of the bumper to the Bashbar. So that left me with a few options. Zip ties, those old school bumper straps that use that stretchy material, which I'm not really a fan of. It works for its application, but I came across these hood latches that have about 45 degrees of the lateral movement on kind of a ball joint that connects to a switch. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So the basic premise is pretty simple. This particular switch here basically will mount itself to the inside of the bumper behind the actual bumper trim, and this back piece right here will be bolted straight into the Bashbar. As you can see, there are a few areas here on the Bashbar that are exposed from the back of the bumper through the little holes. You can see there's a tapered circular hole there. There's one on the corresponding side over there, and those are a perfect diameter for these buttons here. My plan is to basically use some type of steel backing right there on that side as well, and possibly do one or two down here underneath so we can hit the button and release the bumper from the bottom of the Bashbar. This here seems to be the easiest option, seeing that the actual trim piece right here has about 1.5 inches worth of space behind the trim, which would work really well for hiding the buttons behind there. And when I need to remove the bumper, you just pull the actual trim back, press the buttons, and remove the bumper off. So in order to do this, we're going to have to kind of keep the bumper where it is for the time being. I've got one of those die punch tools to kind of mark where we need to for the hardware. Without further ado, we'll stop talking, guys, and we'll get on to the rest of the video. To kind of determine which way I really want to go. As I said before, I was planning on possibly countersinking the hardware that the kit actually came with. And by the kit, I do mean the bumper latches. The nuts, I was thinking about countersinking the nut into the actual Bashbar and then tack welding it into place and grinding it over to make it smooth. But come to find out, I actually do have a actual tap and die set here at the house, and I actually found the thread count that actually is for the hardware I need. So what I'm going to try to do before I make the hole any bigger is basically I'm going to try to tap that hole for the thread that we need and see if that'll work.
Living in the same routine, like the seasons I'm on repeat. It's a long way down. Trying not to follow suit. Don't like the color, I'll change the shade of it. I'm not afraid of it. I know I'm holding on to this, holding on. I know I'm holding on to this, holding on. Don't let me repeat it. Fast forward a year or two, friends have changed, but so can you. So can you.
So when I posted on my story a few days ago that I was planning on doing this, a lot of you guys were really excited, but a lot of you guys were also asking how I was planning on mounting the Bashbar to the bumper, since I do not have a bumper support anymore in here. So let me show you guys what I picked up from Lowe's to rectify that problem. Alright guys, so what I picked up from Lowe's was actually kind of the perfect solution, and it was really cheap. It was about 58 cents for a pair of these. These are Conduit Washers, 1.5 inch. And this is going to be what I think is the perfect solution for mounting everything to the factory bumper without having to drill or tap anything through any of the existing holes. So let me show you what my plan is for this. Now if you look here in the center of the bumper, you'll notice this this hole right here. This is actually where the hardware pokes out for the latches, and that is precisely why I picked up these washers. Now if you see the washers, you notice that they are about the right size to fit over the hole but not fall through. The cleanest way to use this bumper as a mounting surface would be to sandwich these two pieces of sandwich these two washers in between the back side and the front side of the bumper. And then also using this switch, which actually threads open like this, and then using the washer that it comes with, using the nut that it comes with to kind of cinch those together. So let me essentially show you what that will look like. This side on the front, this washer here on the back, and this nut basically on the back side. And the bumper essentially will be on the inside of this, and you cinch it down that way. guys. Obviously got to be very careful because this is fresh paint. Don't want to scratch anything. But essentially that's the look we're going for. Alright guys, so as you can see, this is holding up pretty well. Now, once I am confident that this structure will hold, and I'm confident that I can get the proper alignment and enough alignment, then I'll consider possibly using body panel welding, the JB weld that I purchased for this. But for the time being, it's going to stay this color, and it's going to stay this kind of sandwiched nut configuration. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with this particular setup, and I know you guys are probably dying to see how it mounts up to the car. Not exactly sure how this is going to turn out, but I will find out with you guys live. I'm pretty sure that once this gets on here, it's going to need some alignment, but the only way we're going to know is if we get it on the car. So let's give it a shot. Alright guys, so there you have it. Yeah, you see that I have the switch on there. It's in its semi-final resting position, and don't mind this gap right here. I still need to adjust the threads on the hardware that's sticking out, much like on the passenger side, to sit a lot more flush with the bumper. In order to bring this in, I'm going to have to shorten the hardware a slight bit more, maybe screw it in a little more, or maybe I'm going to have to cut off some of the threads in order to make it a little bit shorter, because it is threading into the Bashbar. But it does function properly. You can hit the button and detach the bumper itself and pull it off. So I call this a win, guys. So again, since I am kind of on a time crunch, I am getting the car ready for its upcoming show in the next 15 days. These update videos are going to be kind of sporadic. I'm going to have to update you guys as I go along. Some of the stuff that I do off camera, I will update you guys on the next video. So that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Hopefully you guys liked today's video. Hopefully I inspired one of you guys out there to try this yourselves. If anybody that was actually out there on the ropes about possibly picking up one of the ZWING Bashbars for yourself and didn't really know how you were going to mount it, hopefully this kind of lays some of your concerns to rest. So thank you guys for watching the Be Reduced channel, guys, and as always, peace out and Godspeed, guys.